What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jeltray here, and today we're back with some more final... Wait, no. Oh, I got it. We're back with some more Fire Emblem... Huh. Oh, shit. Is this Mega Man X? Yes, at long last, we have returned with some more Mega Man X Hard Scythe mode playthrough mod thing by Hard Hunt. And it's been way too long. I really wanted to get back to this a lot sooner, guys. I don't know if anybody really watches these series or not, but... I had hella fun playing this. I'm not sure if I've... Well, let me start over. Basically, I had been recording this all along, but I lost the footage for the last 4 Robot Masters, right? And that was... It was really devastating to my morale to play this, I guess you could say. Mostly because it's hard as hell, man. Launch Octopus, man, he fucked me up. Did we get a good look at my deaths? I don't know if we did. But I'm in the 300s now by this point. We're at Sigma Castle 1. So we're looking at a bit of a time paradox, aren't we? This is a Metal Gear Solid 3 shit, mate. We are eventually going to go back and fix that, though. I think I'll probably start uploading the previous Robot Masters. The thing is, I have to play through the entire game again because it's not really authentic if I have all this armor and all these health upgrades and whatnot. And that was another thing that kind of bummed me out about this playthrough, because originally it was going to be intended to be a blind playthrough. But now I can't really do that, you know? Considering I've already played through the stages, of course. And that sucks, because I lost a lot of my initial thoughts and my initial impressions, although I still, to this day, maintain that Launch Octopus is the devil. I don't see that changing in my mind anytime soon. I haven't really been talking about this. This platforming section right here, though. This took me, I shit you not, about 40 minutes to get through it even once. I'm just not very good at these, well, I wouldn't say pixel perfect, but they're very precise jumps, let's say. I'm not very good at that, and that's something I've just come to realize, I guess. I don't ever recall having this kind of difficulty on an SNES. I'd always been very good at dash jumping and wall jumping and all that good stuff. But I guess it's, like, the original game never really puts you to the test in this way, right? And here was almost something absolutely terrifying. But no, I managed to save myself, fortunately. I had another run that I didn't show where I got to that point and I did not save myself. I was not too happy, but nevertheless, we're going to persevere eventually. Now, since this is no longer really a blind playthrough, the Sigma stages are totally blind. I should say that. The Sigma stages are totally blind, so this was my first go at this. And I'm doing this in post-commentary. I would think that's probably pretty obvious, but... yeah, post-commentary for these, because I could not possibly imagine trying to be entertaining while actually playing through this horse shit. I say horse shit in the best possible way. This is one of those kind of things that really challenges if you know the game or not, and I can really appreciate that. Now, as for the other Robot Masters, I'm going to leave more of an in-depth analysis to when I actually go back and upload those stages. But I will say, right now, on the record, that I thoroughly enjoyed all the stages themselves. The stages themselves, all brilliant. I love them a lot. And that is to say, besides the ones that I've already uploaded. Yeah, I think Flame Mammoths was probably my least favorite out of all of them, just because I'm still iffy as to whether or not you can really complete it without going to another stage first. And that just seems kind of weird to me still, because the whole point... well, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouths, right? But I had assumed that the logic behind getting the dash boots so soon was so that you could do any stage in any order. And I know I kind of went over this on the Flame Mammoth stage, but having played the rest of the stages that the game has to offer, I kind of feel like that was the mentality, because I never really felt at any point that, oh, I can't beat Launch Octopus's stage without such and such a power, or I can't beat Boomer Quangers without such and such a power, you know? And speaking of Boomer Quangers, I fucking love that stage. That was probably my favorite stage out of all the remastered stages. It's just so much fun. I really look forward to going back and doing that one again. Launch Octopus as the stage, very fun. I hate the boss, but we get to that when we get to that, right? Now we're taking on Vile, and we actually do see me try to take him on. I know when I first played this, when I first uploaded the very first part, you can go back and look. I said something like, I just expect Hard Hunt to make this a real fight. And having finally got into the fortress proper, I didn't want to die to some stupid shit, right? So I treated this like it was serious. It's not, to my knowledge. He still just takes you out, it's scripted, all that good stuff. But I was not having any chances, man. I'm not kidding. That platforming section really fucked me up. I probably racked up a good 15 to 20 deaths on that one part alone. And I would say, if I were to estimate, I would say I've got about I got about 30 deaths total on this stage. So yeah, most of that was just me trying to get into the damn castle to begin with. So that was really disheartening. Now Vile here, he's probably a very fun fight. I say probably because I just spam energy tanks. Because like I said, I really needed to hit that checkpoint. I don't know if I would have had it in me to win this one if I had lost to Vile Boy here. So the first thing that I'd really noticed, the most notable thing that is to say, is that his patterns are now far more aggressive than they ever were in the vanilla. He stays on you like nothing else, man, like a fly on shit. He's all over you, and you really have to take him down. It almost feels like a damage race, but I'm sure that if you were a good player, unlike myself, you would be able to kind of wise up to his patterns a little bit better. So the one thing I don't think has changed at all is Vile has a variety of weaknesses. It's kind of an interesting choice to keep that in, considering the choice to diminish the number of uses you have on your special weapons. But I can kind of see the logic there, trying to keep him what he originally was, right? A purple pussy that talked big, but once he didn't have his power armor, he wasn't really about shit. So I can totally respect that from a design choice. And there we actually hit our checkpoint. So my logic to this section... Oh, and I took a small cut there, I think. Oh, no, that's coming up, excuse me. So I basically treat this section the same as I do in vanilla, eventually, where I just stink a million through it. Seems kind of cheap, but that's what I'm about, I guess. I guess I'm about being cheap. This was more of a preliminary run anyways, considering look at my health, right? And I didn't really want to waste more energy tanks than I had to. So we're going to spawn here, and then I take a shortcut here, so I'm not really doing too much on the video track at this second, or excuse me, for this second. Any minute now, I'll pick up the controller. Probably could have cut this a little bit better, but that's not how we do. We're doing one take. We're not going back to edit this. If I sound like an asshole on the track, well, I'm just going to sound like an asshole on the track, man. That's just how it's going to be. So Stink a Million is still very good for this section, as it was in the vanilla. However, being that it's nerfed so heavily, you can't just bypass the entire section, no matter what you do, really. And that's good. I think that's a good change. I didn't have a chance to talk about Stink a Million's change at all now, did I? Because I lost all that village, huh? I think it's changed very well. It was very much overpowered in the original game. Now the cost is higher. You can only realistically get 2 shots of his fully charged invincibility bullshit, so that's good. And the duration also seems to be much shorter. I would say it's been reduced by about half, if not more. Correct me if I'm wrong. And again, that's probably a change for the best. It was incredibly overpowering. You could bypass this entire section in 1 shot of it. And I'm not even kidding. At least insofar as the vertical section anyways. So I break out the homing torpedo for a second there, and then I realize how stupid that is. Because the boss rush is obviously still in here, and for those of you who are Mega Man X connoisseurs, you would know that Boomer Kawanger is in fact the first robot master that you have to refight. So that's why we kind of try and buster this guy down. I like this section a lot, actually. And believe it or not, I almost would say it's probably a little bit easier than the vanilla. I know, crazy, but I kind of believe that. The reason being is that the average Joes aren't placed in quite so horrible of positions. You can actually get by this guy, right? You can see how there's sort of platform behind him, whereas in the vanilla, they were placed in such a way that they took up the entire platform, right? Like if you look to the bottom of the screen right there, might not be a good example. I think I'm about to pass this part. Basically what I was trying to say though is the platforms they were originally on were much smaller, and therefore they were far harder to bypass. I could just jump over that guy and be on my merry way. And I'm not sure if that's intentional, like it's sort of a mercy thing, which if it is, I kind of appreciate that. But at the same time, I mean, why not go all out, right? This section is a bit, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's not bad. There, I was just testing out the rolling shield to see if I could get away with just popping that on. Speaking of the rolling shield, so let's go back for a second to the beginning of the stage. I know if I was a good commentator, I would have pointed this out back when I was doing the platforming section. But that platforming section where you're jumping from little propeller platform to propeller platform or whatever. Was it truly necessary to have those purple guys flying at you like that, man? Come on. You saw how I handled it, right? I just threw on the rolling shield, and then the whole purpose of those guys is trivialized. Now, I can only imagine that the reason that they are there is to troll the player with energy drops. Because if you get there, right, and you're not full on health or weapon energy, and you pick up an energy pellet, you will stop midair, and it'll totally ruin your flow. At least that's what happens to me. I had my flow ruined by that so many times, and it was frustrating because it's not hard, right? Like I said, you just throw on the rolling shield, and because they don't have enough health to actually withstand a shot from it, they just die. So I think it's pretty trolly, man, to have those guys there. So I didn't really talk about Boomer Kawanger. I'm not sure if I really will. Yeah, what the hell, when we get back there, I'll talk about him. And here I think I'm just showing this again to show that it's very important to learn from your mistakes on the first run, right? See, here we see me do much better. I delay my Sting Chameleon power up for as long as possible, and I'm actually able to clear through most of these average Joes in one go without actually stopping for anything, so that's pretty cool. And I take far less damage, which is also very good and very conducive to actually beating Boomer Kawanger. Oh, what the hell, we're right here so much. We'll talk about him a little bit. I like his gimmick a lot. And I say gimmick, I don't mean that's like a bad thing, but I like the fact that there's not any kind of solid ground in the middle of the arena. That's very cool. Makes for a very interesting fight. You gotta be on your toes, you gotta be very fast, and you can't just simply walk away from him. And that really more comes into play when he's doing this teleporting thing like he does right here. Now, I lose to him a few times here, having already beaten him, which says a lot, I think, but it takes me a minute to get used to this teleporting pattern, and there's like somewhat of a pattern to it. He has certain things that he likes to do. For what I've noticed, he likes to teleport directly in front of you a lot, and he likes to teleport to where you're going to be a lot. For example, if I'm going to jump across the gap and I don't time it in such a way that he's already mid-teleport, he'll do that, and he'll just teleport in front of me and kill me. But if you're mid-jump when he's teleporting around, to go back to that, there's a good chance that you could dash jump right into him. So you got to be very careful. You can't just recklessly, push forward. You gotta really pay attention. And there is a pattern, like I say. There's things that he likes to do and things that he does not like to do. And we're back to this section again. I don't really know what else to say about this. I'm not sure why I included it this time. Oh yeah, because the fucking... You lied to me, man. Boomer Kawanger, you lied to me. I thought you were going to bring it back, and you did not. You've let me down. It's disappointing. I do like that I'm using a lot of my special weapons here in the Sigma Castle just to clear it. And I know I brought up that I did not like that in the Flame Mammoth stage, but the difference here is that, being that it's the Sigma Castle, you're already expected to have every weapon, right? You have to have just to get here. So at this point, I say it's fair game. I would still like to see somebody go through Flame Mammoth just bare bones X-Buster only. No power-ups, doing it as the first stage. I would love to see that. I wouldn't say that really detracts from the hack as a whole. Not in any way, shape, or form. But it's just a minor thing that I noticed. It's kind of strange. It's a little inconsistent, I guess. So Boomer Kawanger is going to go down like a bitch here. Not sure if I brought this up, but he's one of my favorite fights, actually, of all the Robot Masters. And since I'm talking about them, I guess, having already completed them, I found Sting Chameleon to be surprisingly easy. He only killed me on my first run because I was low on health and I didn't want to waste E-tanks, As for Launch Octopus, I've already said my opinions on that guy, and I cannot wait to fight him again. That'll be great. It's going to be good stuff. Who else did I not get to show? I didn't get to show up Armor Armadillo. He's pretty fun. He's all right. He felt a little vanilla-y, I guess. Like, not too changed from the basic game, but that's okay, I think. If anything, he just felt more aggressive. He felt a lot more aggressive, and in that sense, I don't really see what else you could do with him, since he already was pretty gimmicky to begin with, Other than the arena changes, there wasn't really too much to talk about with him. Boomer Kawanger just goes absolutely apeshit, but somehow I feel like I'm a better player for having beaten him in this hack, because he really forces you to pay attention. He really forces you to make sure that your moves are intentional, right? Move with a purpose. Don't just move around, because you'll end up dashing right into him, jumping right into him, all this stuff, and it's not good. Who else have I not covered? We did Boomer Coanger, Launch Octopus, fuck that guy, Stinky Million, very easy, Armor Armadillo. I think those are the only 4 that I didn't show. I'm kind of saying that more for myself, really, than anything, so that I remember who to go back and actually do. And there we actually saw me use the Chill Penguin ability to get through a section there. I'm not sure if that's the intended way. It's one of the easiest ways I can think of, but I'm fairly certain that you could actually make it underneath that overpass like I was trying to do on my first attempt. It looked like you could make it, but I just figured Chill Penguin probably a much easier way, right? That made me... Oh, man. I remember that. That made me very nervous. I did not like that at all. Bad times would have ensued. But fortunately, we did not lose our shit there, and we made it to the Bow Spider, who I am terrible at to this day. I kind of knew what his gimmick was going to be. I made a small cut there because I was just standing around. I didn't actually fight him yet. This is my first try. And I do fairly decent for my first try. So as you can see, the only real change is that he will drop his spider minions far more frequently, and he also proceeds far more quickly than usual. Actually, I'm not sure if he's actually faster or not, or if he just speeds himself along more quickly. Because originally, he would be very slow to begin with, and then sort of pick up speed progressively as the battle draws on, right? Whereas here, it seems like he's just on crack or some shit. He's just ready to go right out the gate. No, I doubt I really need to point this out to anybody who's playing the hard type, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to, I guess, talk strategy, I guess. I don't know what you'd want to call it. But the thing with the Bow Spider is, every time he comes to a line on his downward descent, he will cross the line. And I know this. I have known this for years. And I am still terrible at this fight. So, if you can keep that in mind, he's not a hard fight at all. You could almost, if you wanted to, and I don't end up doing this, but if you wanted to, I imagine you could see the pattern, pause, process the pattern, and you would never get hit. But that's, I don't know, I just don't like stuff like that. So instead I end up taking hits and looking like a scrub. I do believe that this is my successful run, though. I didn't show as many deaths in this episode as I had been up until recently, but believe me, I'm not doing any better. I'm still getting my ass kicked. It's just for the sake of making this watchable, you know? I had an entire, I don't know, it was about 35 minutes of me dying before this video actually began proper, just in that beginning platforming section of this castle. I'm not even joking. And I'm still willing to admit my deaths. I'll be showing the death counter, don't get me wrong. I just for the sake of watchability, you know? Now here, it seems like I'm actually doing pretty decent, but don't worry, he'll fuck me up here in a second. Like, I'm admittedly getting a little bit lucky, I think, truth be told. Because the next few descents, I just get my ass kicked. I get one there, I walk right into him there, I use an E-Tank, and then I take another nice hit. Technically, the Bow Spider is weak to Shotgun Ice, but I'm not sure it really matters. I think the fully charged Buster Shot is just as well. So here my heart's racing. I'm just like, am I really going to lose? I'm so close. He's down to 1 hit point left. Literally 1 hit point. Anything will kill me and anything will kill him, and I somehow pull it off. Thank the Lord. So that is actually going to be it for Sigma Castle 1. I'm not entirely sure how many times I died here. It was probably, as I had estimated earlier, about 30 deaths. Most of which coming from the beginning section. That section was a total bitch, and I'm not entirely sure if it's all on my skills or if it's a combination of my skills plus high definition quality playing an older game or what. I have no idea. But I save state. The only reason I save state there is because I want to preserve my death counter, obviously. And we get to the area with the best music in the game. Okay, that's enough of that. So that's actually going to do it for this part. And next time, I haven't decided if we're going to be looking at Armor Armadillo or Sigma Castle 2. It really just depends. But the uploads are going to be a little bit wonky because we're going to be jumping back and forth, more likely than not. Either way, I'm having a lot of fun with this hack, and I can say that I would recommend it to any Mega Man X fans out there. Anybody looking for a new take on it, maybe a more challenging take. Well, not even maybe a more challenging take. Somebody wants to get their ass kicked by the original Mega Man X. I would definitely recommend this hack. It's got a lot of polish, a lot of thought put into it. There are some things that, well, I guess I'll get to them when I get to them. But as far as the actual level design, I find myself liking it a lot. I find myself having a lot of fun with it and thinking that it's a very enjoyable experience for the most part. I don't really think there's anything else I really want to say about this one. So, that being the case, if you did watch this all the way through, if you're still listening to me ramble, feel free to leave a like and or a comment. I always appreciate those. It helps the channel grow. Really, guys, there's nothing more that helps the channel grow than just dropping a like. Just takes a quick second, leaving a comment, letting me know what you think about it. Hell, call me an asshole for all I care. Just let me know, right? Just let me know, man. Anyways, until next time, hope you all have a good one. Peace.